remember a little too now for my own good. What a goddamn awesome theme song, ladies and gentlemen. What fire cannot burn. In case you're wondering why we are all laid out here, the band that brings you What Fire Cannot Burn is our very special guest tonight, Philly's own SAINT RICKETS. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the O Show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, guys. Absolutely incredible song. We were in love with it. The second I heard it, I said it has to be it. My wife has heard it so many times, she's probably going to divorce me by the amount of times I play it, but that's okay. We're live here at Union 215 Studio in the great Northeast Philadelphia. I am Jeff the Shark Perini. With me, as always, the amazing, the lovely, the beautiful, the co-hostess but the mostest, sister from another Mr. Jewel, the babe, Haiti. Jewel, good evening. How are you tonight?
Good evening. How are we doing? I'm so excited. It's a party. We get to actually listen to our theme song with the band that sings it. It's amazing. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks,
That's
guys.
awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to have you here too. I fell in love with it instantly. Jewel does all our work. Jewel is big on local bands, finding music, and she's into all kind of music. Came to me one day and said, I got this piece of music from these guys, what do you think? And it took me 5 seconds. I'm like, I love it. And she's like, no, really? I'm like, no, I love it. Like,
it was
it's perfect.
instantaneous. Like he was right back.
Yeah,
at it.
I didn't need
Like,
any.
no question.
That's cool.
I didn't need anything.
That means a lot because
I think we all kind of liked it right away too.
Yeah, that actually kind of was the deal. Anthony, who isn't here right now, when he brought the song over, we were kind of demoing it up at my studio, and I remember I started calling them and texting them. I'm like, this is the jam. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but this has got something real special, and like, it's kind of cool to see that. You know, this is like our first time meeting, so it's kind of cool to see that going. Getting that kind of response from people has been really surprising, and like I've mentioned before, very humbling, but really, really exciting.
It's awesome stuff, and we love it. Let's introduce everybody real quick. If you guys just want to jump in, introduce who you are and what you do with the band.
I'm Eric. I sing for the band SAINT RICKETS.
Kenny, drummer.
Tom, rhythm guitar.
John, guitar, and
Well,
recording engineer.
Jeez.
We're also short one guy
Yeah.
today, so
Yeah.
we're 4 out of 5. So our bass players.
We're missing Anthony.
This is for Anthony. Let's give him.
Anthony.
We love you, man. We love your work, and we're happy to have 4 of the 5 of you here tonight.
We'd really be squeezed if we were seeing him here.
We would have no
He
shot.
is a well-built man.
I got to be honest. I came out earlier today just to let Eric know how it runs can be a tight squeeze, and he said we're all just going to get to be a little more friendly by the other night.
We're going to really get to know each other.
And that's great. Whoever's hand is on my knee, you got to move it. It's not that kind of show. We don't do that kind of stuff around here. No, just kidding. So let's get to the thing that I'm most curious about, and a lot of people that have been listening are curious about. What is SAINT RICKETS? Where did the name come from?
I don't think we're gonna
The
say
name,
anything about the name.
I think kind of the name reminds me a little bit of like the kind of band we started to put together was bands that we really enjoyed, and I think it's similar to kind of mashing something that doesn't make sense with each other, sort of like relative to like Marilyn Manson and things like that, where you have these two things that come together that don't make any sense, but start to create sort of these thoughts between people. It's always interesting for me to see what people think the band name is.
Yeah.
I've gotten some
People have some crazy
strange-
ideas
yeah.
of what they
Like
I
what?
almost
What
what
is
they
it?
actually
Yeah,
think
we
it
want to hear a
is.
couple.
I'll say one came up to me and he's like, "Man, I think of like this crazy hospital for kids."
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh.
like, okay.
It's
That's-
bizarre
yeah.
that you get some responses and like,
It's more of a flow thing than anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's tons of bands that you play 2 shows and you got some music out. The name's over. There's terrible names out there.
Yeah.
St. Ricketts is one of them.
Yeah.
But we are St. Ricketts. These are, once you get the music out there, there's bands like Korn. That's a horrendous name.
It is,
Everybody
really.
knows who
Works.
Korn
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So it just
We started to
it's
wanna
one of
just-
those things. Got to just kind of get the name.
Yeah, let the music kind of define what you think of when you hear
Yeah.
the band name.
Well, Ricketts is not a saintly name. I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
Ricketts.
Showing her
I
nerd
mean, he's-
side.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is
No, it's catchy though. I like
Ricketts
it.
is a degenerative bone disease primarily found in children.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
that's what Ricketts says.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I said, when I first saw the name, I'm like, it's a heavenly disease. When you-
That's the name of our
Oxymoron.
album.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
coming to Heavenly,
Heavenly
Disease.
disease.
Yeah, it's coming.
Am I in the right business or what? We were having this big talk before the show how I have no tech savvy and I'm just nothing more than a big mouth that says dumb shit. Look at that, I just named it now.
Name the that's it. It's all
God
over.
damn.
I call Orsino as soon as we get done. Start the artwork.
When you Google it, the first thing I keep finding is Saints tickets, like New Orleans Saints.
Right.
Yeah, I got that too.
And we're
Yeah.
Philly guys, so fuck the Saints, am I right?
Yeah.
I don't see Saints tickets.
The Aints.
No.
Oh Lord.
No,
So who are your influences? I mean, you mentioned
Oh,
Korn,
yeah.
Bill love
Oh
Korn.
God.
it's man, they are all over the place, and I'm sure
you
you
might
hear-
have to go down the line.
You're gonna need
with
another
this.
hour
That's all
for
right.
this.
We
Just
we
one
listen.
each, one or 5 each. That'll be fine.
Yeah,
We're everybody's different,
yeah.
and we all have different backgrounds. I mean, I'm a metal guy.
Mm.
I love everything from Radiohead to Black Tongue. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of the
Yeah.
spectrum. But we all got together. We started writing songs. We found our sound. Is it super heavy? No. It's St. Ricketts. This is what it sounds like as a
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
But we listen to all kinds of different
Yeah.
shit. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's cool too because just within the band, just sharing new stuff that we come across, because like in our band chat or whatever, we'll just fire off new bands that we find and we get stoked on and stuff like that. And it's
Yeah.
cool to see like how everybody reacts to it. Like there's some stuff that I'll send out. I'm like, Eric is gonna hate this, but I know John is gonna
Yeah.
fucking love this band.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I mean,
And we're
shit. We had a
just kinda-
45-minute conversation the other day. We were talking about Lana Del Rey.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
That's
a
right.
great girl.
I mean, and
I
it's
love
like
her.
we're a fucking bunch of
We're
hard
kinda
rock
all
metal
over
guys, but we
over
like
that.
music. Good music's good music.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
For sure.
there's
She's great
all
music,
kinds
right,
of good
Kenny?
music.
Yeah. Yeah, she's okay.
We bonded over Lana Del Rey. Yep.
She's all right.
That was one of the
Kenny
first
seemed
things.
to enjoy it a lot.
I remember him and I talked on the phone early on, and like that was one of the things. He asked me what I'd been listening to lately, and I'd been listening to that Black Tongue. Crazy. So I was like so hype on that. I was like, oh dude, you got to check out Black Tongue. They're so sick. I was like, what have you been listening to? He's like, oh, Lana Del Rey. I'm like, oh, we're like all over the place here, which is great. I mean, the more influences you have, the better.
Absolutely.
So
And she takes from a lot of great songwriters. Like her inspirations are all over the place too. So no shame in the Lana game.
No,
Yeah.
we definitely
Mm.
we are. You can hear our influences. You'll hear a song later tonight that you guys are going to play, and when you hear it, the intro is Crazy Train. The
Ish.
riff is I want to do an 80s song, 80s metal song,
Yeah.
and make it modern, and that's what the song is. Not saying we bit it or stole it, but
no.
subconsciously, when you grow up listening to music, you are just influenced. It's
Yeah.
there. It's
Yep.
ingrained in you.
Yep.
Of course.
And there's certain bands and certain times in your life that just it's there in your subconscious somewhere. And when you're riffing out or hanging out and jamming or coming up with a vocal idea or a guitar riff or a drum
Out it
beat,
comes.
that shit just comes out.
Yeah.
And you're like, then your buddy's got to be like, yeah, that sounds like this. And you go, fuck, I can't use that riff. It does, but I didn't think it's that, but there's, we definitely have a lot of different influences. I mean, it's a good thing to be all
Yeah.
over the spectrum.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
your meld is flawless. Like, the songs are great. You should be super duper proud of the album. Like,
Dude,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Really, thank you.
seriously.
How about you guys? Kenny, who's your big influence?
Um,
I'm a drum guy. I love drums. I've taken lessons.
yeah, I
I
was gonna
suck,
say,
but I'm a drum guy.
one of my first records when I was a kid putting vinyl on was Led Zeppelin 2
Nice.
and AC/DC Dirty D's Thunder Cheap. My sister Diane put in purple mascara, or when the eyeliner was like pencils, she put her name on the side, the first side, so I knew which side it was on. With big balls and everything.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, AC/DC, her whole record collection, and my parents downstairs, they had the Neil Diamond and the Barbra Streisand, and then upstairs
yeah.
in my sister's room, she had the Billy Squier and the Led Zeppelin, the Cars, AC/DC, Queen, all the good stuff,
Great stuff.
So, and then present day, I'm listening to the new Ozzy record and the new Justin Bieber record. So
I haven't heard the Ozzy record
it's
yet.
the
I
Ozzy-
won't hear the Justin Bieber record.
You heard it.
It's good. They're
I
both
hear
good.
it's yummy.
It's good. Good music's good
Are you a
music.
believer? Are you a believer?
I am now. You know what? Both of them. You tour that much, and when you're a kid and go through that, and then you can talk. But most
Yeah.
people that say anything now about music nowadays, it's like I don't be negative about it, but like everybody had something to say about the Ozzy record. You tour for 50 years. You
Yeah.
do that nonstop for your entire
Dude
life.
can do
You
whatever
cheat
he
death.
wants. Gives a
Yeah.
fuck.
And you know
Yeah.
what? New
He said
album
he's going to
is
make
killer.
another record in the next year.
Yeah, he's looking to make
He
another.
wants to go make
Next
another
month?
record.
No,
Yeah.
he said next month.
Oh, that's
Wow.
even.
Yeah,
Can't
but what are you
cancel
gonna
his
do?
tour,
Are you
yeah.
gonna sit at home or
Yeah.
or
Maybe
make
our
it-
record will come out before Ozzy's next
Yeah.
record.
Maybe, yeah.
That
That's
would
two
be
records
Do them in
incredible.
tandem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My influences come all over the place, and what I listen to varies. It's funny because so many people have told me what I sound like, and sometimes you're going for a part and you feel like you're stealing something from like Maynard, and then like
Maynard's the modern guy. Where Ozzy was the past guy.
yeah,
Maynard's like the
and
modern
somebody
guy.
tells you sound like you're straight out of Nickelback or something, or Three Doors Down, and I'm like, all right, like the sounds that people hear from us are so all over the place too.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. Yeah, but I think growing up, my first thing, there's a couple of times that music was really impactful. The first time, my dad thought it would be great to give me a tape, you dub tapes constantly of Black Sabbath's Iron Man. And as soon as I heard that guitar come in, I was like, dude, rock is my thing.
Sure.
And I listened to that thing obsessively. And then another big shift for me, because at that time you just think rock is cool, and like, Ozzy Osbourne's this cool guy, and he does cool stuff playing music. But then I think it was the death of Kurt Cobain where I was first hit with like, wait a second, like maybe there was some substance underneath all of these cool songs that I was listening to, and that's when I started to kind of go into the path of listening to music that was like more about the context of what are these guys, what are they writing about, and all that kind of stuff, But yeah, and then there was a point I had sort of like walked away from music for a little while, and I started talking to my friends, and I'm like, man, has anybody heard the new Justin Timberlake record? That song, Love Stone, like it just hit me. He beatboxes every instrument on that whole song. I think
Yeah.
there's like a couple that aren't actually like
that,
his
that
voice.
album
and I'm
was
like,
no joke. Like,
Yeah.
that was,
Yeah.
it was bangers.
I got a
front
lot
to
of
back.
looks for that, but like, again, it's about musicianship and creativity, and that kind of thing got me more interested in like production side of stuff. And it's like, man, I can imagine him sitting there going, all right, we need the hi-hat to go like this, and he's like,
Mhm.
and just it didn't dawn on me the first time I
Can you
heard the
sing
song.
some
You know
of
what I
that? I
mean?
think that was.
Pretty good.
Didn't you do
I
a little
can't.
bit, a couple of demos?
Yeah.
Just for.
That's the problem you have when you're the singer of the band. People like want this kind of song. No, I'm
No, I'm
not.
not. It's fine. It's fine.
Let's take time to hear you actually sing. Let's play another song.
Awesome.
Jewel, you got the lineup. What song do we have next?
So the next song we have is Catalyst. That's it.
All right. Catalyst is the next song. It's going to be St. Ricketts. We'll be back in a few minutes.
We're not live now. Like, can I get up on stage? No, it's just a legitimately adult question. Because Kenny was getting up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's these guys right here, SAINT RICKETS, who are kind enough to come in tonight, sit down in the studio, give us a couple songs. That one is Catalyst. It's fantastic. Guys, how did this whole project come together? You guys are really super talented. I always wanted to talk to guys whose music I fall in love with,
You take this one.
and that's part of the reason I do this now. I love it. How did you guys get on this project?
Shit, probably about 3 years ago now. John and I had been working together, and we really didn't have anything going on musically at the time. So it was really just as simple as going into our home studios with, like a 30-pack of Miller Lite and sitting down and just passing the guitar back and forth. And kind of just exploring what we thought was cool, and sometimes we would riff out and for a couple hours and come up with nothing, and sometimes you'd write a song in an hour. And it's really that simple for us.
Well,
writing sometimes, but
it's not as simple as it sounds.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we love booze, we love metal, we love guitars and amps.
yeah.
But me and him were working. We started riffing out, like he was saying, and we could not find a singer for an entire year.
Yeah.
12 months had
Wow.
passed. We had songs like Catalyst written.
Yeah, we had a lot.
We
of
had a
stuff
lot
written.
of stuff written. We could not find anybody to sing. All of a sudden, my buddy Eric Rosso, that I haven't talked to in 10 years,
Yeah.
Wow, how about that?
okay, sends me a
Yeah.
text. Yo, man, you got a studio in your basement? We do all these recordings are in house. We do them in my basement, okay,
Wow, that's awesome.
which is insane.
Yeah.
But we do them in our basement. We're super critical. But anyway, long story short, Rosso sends me a text about some plugins and things on, hey man, what are you using? And I'm like, well, dude, I got some recordings. So I
Yeah.
sent him a couple demos of me and Nuss, some crappy drums, and some guitar riffs.
Some really bad drums.
And this is about 8 o'clock at night. 6:30 in the morning, the next morning, I get a WAV file sent to my phone. And it's this ding dong with him singing. And I go, holy shit. I wake my wife up. I'm like, you hear this? She's like, who the fuck's that? I'm like, it's fucking Eric Rosso. She goes, you better fucking call him.
Aw.
And
Amazing.
before that, I sent it to Tom, and I'm texting. He worked night shift that night. I'm like,
Yeah.
wake the fuck up, because we finally found the guy.
And I was laying in bed, and I get a text message from John. It's this WAV file. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing sending me a text at 6 o'clock in the morning for?
And
And me and my wife are laying in bed, and I'm listening to it, and it's that song, and I'm listening to the song, and then the verse comes in, and then I heard Eric's voice, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
And I'm like, and we had been friends for years.
Yeah.
And I was in a band way back in the day that had some regional success and bullshit, but forget that. He was a friend of the band. Like, we were close. Like, we were tight. He'd come and help out and hang out, and like, it wasn't like, oh, I like your band. I was like, nah, it's my boy Eric.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I haven't seen Eric in 10 years. And he sends this demo over and floors the two of us.
Yeah.
Get out. Did you always want to sing? Was this like?
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst instrument to pick. Like, so much pressure. When we were doing that stuff, it wasn't like we had a falling out or anything. It's sort of like life, sort of.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Takes you in a different direction. But back when he was doing his thing, I mean, we were all sort of doing our own things, different
Ghosts.
bands and stuff, just not in the same bands. And like I said, when I was a kid, when you first hear like certain bands and stuff, you think like you want to be the front man, and then you try it, and then you're not that great at it, and then you sort of like fade away from it for a while, and
Yeah.
then we started reconnecting, and then really I didn't expect the reaction. I got to be honest with you. Like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm like.
Were
I
you
knew it was
nervous
gonna
at
body
all?
line.
I knew, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm going to jizz all over their faces.
Because he's like,
By 7 a.m., I will be in the band.
we looked at it like it was going to just be a creative outlet, There was a bunch of us who still love music, still doing it kind of in our own way, and then, oh, you're actually still doing this? Okay, like maybe we should just make something.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of becoming something more than we thought it would be. Honestly, when we start, this is insane right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. I can't believe I'm sitting here doing it, let alone having you guys here. So we're all kind of blown
That's
away.
I mean,
super cool.
Anthony, the bass player, me and Anthony actually were in a band, my first real band, when I was in 8th grade. So, like, him and his brother played drums. Unfortunately, he passed away, but
Oh, sorry.
we had you know, we have history. It's just
There's a lot of history.
there's a lot of history of
between
just like we're
all
good.
of us.
This guy over here, I've known Kenny for like 5-6 years solid and longer than that from other bands that we've been in playing together in the Philly scene, and I'm like, this guy's too fucking busy. I ain't hitting him up.
Yeah.
He hits him up, and next thing you know, I'm like, oh my god, we got a drummer. We're good. We're solid.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go give it a shot and see
Here
what
we
the
are.
fuck happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully people like it. If they don't, go to the next band.
Fuck it,
you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy how it all came together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird. Like I said, just
It's a great story.
all of
though,
us having a bunch of history together, and
Yeah.
like I've known John since I was probably like 14 or 15.
Yeah, same.
You know, we had bands, like my band played with his band like way back in the day, and we just kind of had like a mutual friendship of just
We
liking to,
really like
party
to fuck stuff
and
up.
fuck shit up,
Yeah.
and we're just of the same ilk, and we kind of hit it off right away. And
We're chill. We were talking about it earlier, and like people say, you know, they grew up and they read the Bible. We watched the vulgar videos from Pantera, and
There you
when
go.
we were 16, 17, you know, I got some age on us, but yeah, when I was 21, I was like, what do you want to do? I want to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to drink beer and go murder people on stage every night.
Yeah.
And, you know, you get to go out and you do it locally, and you're not as big as Pantera, and it's not awesome, but God, that 30, 40 minutes on stage, any local
Shit.
act in
Mhm.
yeah.
anywhere around the world will tell you that 30, 40 minutes that you get to play in front of people, perform it's fucking therapy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you have a bad day as a guitar player. I'm a guitar player. I love guitar. I love everything about it. I go to the basement, I pick that fucking guitar up. I don't think about anything bad.
No.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And then you're
Yeah.
like, what was I pissed off about earlier? Oh, bills and life and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget about it. We'll worry about it tomorrow. Because it's like therapy. And this is like group therapy.
Yeah.
Except
man.
we argue and
Yeah.
pick up each other apart
Yeah.
on purpose. Because we want to put out the best product possible. And it's for us.
Yeah.
Like, really, we make these songs for us.
Yeah.
If people like them, that's
Great.
great.
Yep.
But if they don't, we're still going to write songs like these, and we're still going to demo them because we have a studio, and we'll, you know, play in front of each other,
Yeah.
you know? But that's basically where we're at right now.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think it's heading in the right direction, and that's the beauty of it is when there's passion involved like that, you hear it in the sound. Because
Right.
that to me doesn't sound like, hey, let's make music and try to get a song.
Yeah.
That's passion in that music, and I feel it and I love it. The fact that, like I said, I get in my car, I left work today, got in my car, I turned it on and listened to it 6 times in a row, and now I'm sitting right next to you guys. I'm geeked, man. I'm it doesn't make a difference if it's Philly
Yeah,
or if we're
thank
in
you.
Hollywood. It doesn't make a difference where I'm at. I'm
Yeah.
freaking geeked out.
This
right
is
now.
our
You can't really
therapy.
say- Right,
This
this
is
is our
what we like
therapy.
to do.
Yeah.
An hour a week, we sit here, we
Yep.
do this show.
And listen, we
you know.
really appreciate you guys,
Yeah,
honestly.
thank you. Yeah,
For
for
giving us a
doing
shot,
local-
putting this out for
yeah,
people to
local
hear,
music
and
and-
supporting Philadelphia artists.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome that
Across
they
the
can
board.
come here and people can hear their stuff.
Yeah.
And that you guys are willing to support. That is amazing.
Yeah. There's not much of that around anymore. It seems like as far as you
Yeah.
know,
There really
local-
isn't, and we discuss it too when it comes to who watches, who likes,
Yeah.
who follows,
yeah.
and everybody jumps to the mainstream. Oh, this is huge right now, and I'll tell you what, some of it might suck, but the right person said it's big, and everybody jumps to it. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
there's fantastic artists. We had one here last week. We had Brandon Messon. He was here. He was amazing. You guys here tonight. You guys are just incredible artists. This is the stuff people need, and this is why we do what we do. You guys deserve it.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
really
you
appreciate
guys.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so
that's-
much.
We appreciate
It's
you. It's
still
great content,
mind-blowing.
and now you know we're just Philly people helping Philly people, and you know there's let's say Jackson's local shots, like that's a snippet, but the Philly scene is so wide and broad and has so much talent. And how have you guys been liking playing Philadelphia region area? Do you see yourselves like branching out like to New York or around the
Oh,
Oh
tri-state
yes,
area?
definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Just don't leave us behind.
You
Well, thanks for that. But yeah.
You come to the basement and watch his track.
Hey,
I
we
mean,
used to
throw
do it in
stuff
the
at Rosso
basement.
when he's doing vocals.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I mean,
regional.
Yeah, regional, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
We don't really have an exact plan. I got to be honest with you. The way things are going have already been exceeding. I mean, we've been working on this record for a little while now, and and that comes with not just writing the songs, because so many of the songs are written. It's like we're gearheads, you know. So we got the studio, and we're like, man, we really need to like. Those
Sound
guitars
cheap.
sound great, but we need to buy something that costs $1,300 and make it sound better,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever the deal is.
You
Because
may not
we,
talk
you know,
about that
Yeah.
over
I
there.
have-
We're watching.
I have no idea
No.
about that.
That
stuff.
sounds
I mean,
great
Kenny's
tonight.
always the guy spending money over
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's all Kenny.
Yeah.
So we got Kenny in the
I got
band because he
tons
has
of money.
all the money.
Tons.
Tons of money.
Woo! Hey!
Better
Take
suck
it!
that
Take
up.
it up!
It's going down.
We got
That's
money.
good
We got
radio right
Shimei.
there.
No.
Folks, that is
Something.
Shemay
That is
Blues,
amazing.
that is
I'm doing the
like-
best I can. I'm trying not
Yeah,
to
you
drop
better
it. It's like $1 drop here.
It is.
Fucking shit.
That's-
expensive.
But the
You're worried more or less about the equipment.
We're good.
There
The
you go.
mics are good.
we
They're
got a
dry.
cook bag.
This conversation's getting hot.
It is, man.
Um,
It's like it's like an
but yeah.
explosion right there. They got their own pyrotechnics. That's what you get to get a St. Ricketts show. Shit explodes and everything.
We're gonna light Kenny on fire the first show.
Yeah,
like
I
Nicky
do.
said.
I don't
yeah,
care.
we're gonna light him up like Nicky
Yeah,
said.
we're
So we
gonna
just
wrap
gotta
it.
get the leather pants.
We're gonna be local
We're
Rammstein.
talking about making a video for not, you know, we're talking in the midst of talking about what it's gonna. I keep saying just it's gotta have fire, obviously.
Yeah,
obviously.
It's just everywhere, and you know, we'll do the Nikki Sixx thing. I don't care. I'll take my chances.
You got the leather pants?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm not squeezing the leather
We
pants.
got to start a GoFundMe, www.saintrickets.com. Start a GoFundMe that we can have like an 80-foot beer bottle that just
Yeah,
bursts
yeah.
right in the middle of the concert,
pretty
and
badass.
beer just
Slow
flies
motion.
all over the place. But so the Philly scene's been good to you guys. Couple shows. Let's talk about a couple shows, couple things that
Sure.
we see got up and coming. March 27th, Bar 13,
Yep.
1706 Philadelphia Pike, Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah.
And April 11th, right here, Croydon, PA, Broken
right
Goblet
here.
Yeah,
Brewery.
that's the big
Yeah.
one.
I'm a beer
Yeah.
junkie. I'm a brewery junkie. I'm
Yeah,
in the
that's
business.
that's
www.losobrewingcompany.com.
They just actually, there's a couple breweries in right outside of Philadelphia in Broken Goblet. You know, they just opened up within last year, and it's Mike Locke, Jay Gross. Who else is in there? The actual people who are in it are actually have been veterans of running the scene. It's
Oh, okay.
Jim Thorpe and Vinny Bowles from DVT Entertainment.
Okay.
So it's
awesome.
Double V Bookings. So they do a lot of the work there. They actually it's a really an amazing place. Besides just them brewing the stuff, the venue, the lights, the sound is amazing.
The stage
and-
setup
and,
and
yeah,
the
it's
venue is
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
incredible.
incredible.
Awesome.
We can't wait to destroy it.
And then
Yeah.
that April 11th is actually Matt DeFabio's another well-to-do guy that he has a lot of things going on, hard worker, and his band Vedic. That's the actual CD release party for them.
Awesome.
And then the second, we open the show at 9:00, and then it's Empress, and then Vedic or Vedic. I want to say it right, but
We got to thank them for giving us
Yeah,
a shot to
definitely.
open the
Yeah,
show.
Yeah.
It's off
That's
the
going to
end.
get us out there, and
Yeah.
we really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Northeast,
Yeah, we
Northeast
appreciate
Phil,
that for
no,
sure.
especially in that area, like the Ben Salem, we were talking about before, Langhorne, like the whole Northeast area, Northeast Philly breeds a lot of musicians and a lot of great musicians, and that scene and like the Ben Salem, Levittown, Bristol area. I remember a couple years back, there was just tons of metal, like a lot of metal,
Yeah.
and because there was there's incentive to do it because there was a lot of clubs. There was the cell block back in the day, like
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago.
Oh,
There was-
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So there was a cell block. So a lot of the things that were happening within within a 45-minute vicinity, there was, you would go across Pennsauken, and there was G. Willigers. There was Empire Rock Club on Roosevelt Boulevard.
used to love the
there was
Empire Rock
just
Club.
yeah. So
Just
like
love watching the chicks with the high hair walking up and down the boulevard's the greatest thing ever. It really was.
you go roller skate next to them.
Yeah.
But I mean this general area is really good. And right down the street from here, Sweeney's is still
Yeah.
Sweeney's has always been and will always be the best bar for rock. They haven't changed anything of what they do. They treat the bands as they should be. The sound man's still the same. And that's been like, I'm originally from Holmesburg in Northeast Philly, and I befriended a lot of people up here through the when probably about several years ago. I won't date myself, but that bar is probably the most magical place for music. And then it's good to have like something like Broken Goblet pop up because they're like, oh, here's something else now, and it's just as good, even bigger. So it's good. There was a time when there was like, you know, obviously for the past several years we're like, what's going on in the scene and what's, you know, and all the musicians are like, what do we do now? It's like, just write music. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Because that's the most important part. But when these new things pop up like Broken Goblet, it's like, wow, it's cool. It's a new venue. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm like, you know, because as a musician, you're like, you know, first of all, you're like, wow, it's a good sound system, and I get to hear myself. And as a drummer, I'm like, wow, I get to hear my kick and everybody.
We're out of the basement. you know?
Yeah. I may have to use the house kit and not have to bring one
I
home.
mean, it's funny that like we went and checked out the spot a few months ago, and we are so used to like clubs looking for like the big steel door where you're like, where's the shady place that you enter this building, you know? And it's so nice there that you know, it took us a little while to find the right spot
we
to
went
go
to see
into.
a buddy of ours. We're gonna shout out to Life After Last,
Yeah,
great
definitely.
band, Northeast Philly band,
All right.
metalcore, hardcore band, awesome. And they did a show up there, and me and him were like, all right, we gotta go check this out. And we go up there, we walk in, and we're like, yeah, this is really nice. This is like metal bands in a nice place.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels safe
And then
here.
I'm
This is
looking around, and
weird.
I'm like, oh, all the guys working here are from metal bands that I've played with back in the day, so
Yeah.
they know what's going
Yeah.
on, and
Makes sense.
the sound, the lighting, the beer. It was awesome. It was a great spot.
It's really cool.
So we're very, very hyped
Thankful
on
that we
that.
get to
And we're very
play it,
thankful
yeah.
for Vedic for putting us on the gig and giving
Yeah.
us an opportunity to open up there.
Oh yeah.
No one knows who
It'll
the
be a
fuck
good
we
show.
are.
I'll run it down again for the local people. Me and Drew will be there. My wife's going to be there, whether she knows her or not. Broken Goblet Brewery at 2500 State Road, Croydon, PA. It's April 11th. And obviously get there at 9 because St. Ricketts is the first act on. That's
Yeah.
where St.
Yeah.
That right there, and as you've heard in her music.
Get there at 8 and have
Yeah.
some drinks.
Yeah.
Have some booze. Get
Yeah.
lathered up.
Get there at
you
8,
know?
have some drinks, have some fun, and then
And
9
get ready
o'clock.
to destroy the
Yeah.
fucking
And it's a
place.
We're ready.
Saturday.
I mean, there's 3 really good
Yeah.
bands, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's original music. Like, come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out some original
Yeah.
shit. It's awesome, you know?
And Matt from Vedic, he just reached out to me and we started talking, so he kind of like pulled us out of nowhere. So,
Yeah.
so it's
And
cool. we really
we
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it, like, given the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome. What how often have you guys played live? Is this like kind of like a first go around, like some live
no,
stuff?
No.
we did a couple of
As
shows.
a St. Ricketts band, maybe I should say.
We did a couple
Yeah.
of shows last year, and then we really wanted to just kind of concentrate on the album.
Yeah, we took time off to do that.
We wanted to just kind of finish writing because literally we've only been a band for really technically about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And we had a whole bunch of songs that sounded like St. Ricketts and a whole bunch of songs that did
Yeah.
not sound like St.
Yeah.
Ricketts. So we've been fine-tuning everything, and then we really needed the final piece, which was Kenny. And luckily, he was open enough to hop in and fill that void we needed. Good
Yeah.
drummer and a good dude, so we thank you for that. We lucked out
Thank
there.
you.
Big
And I haven't,
time.
I haven't been in an original band in like close to several years. I was in a band called Seven Heads, and we were pretty during the time that we were playing was a really thriving time. And
good
then
time.
so unfortunately someone crossed over in our band, and so that just put, we still get together once in a while as the other 3 of us, but for the time I was like playing tribute bands, and I was like, just work, just do my acoustic gigs or play here or play there. And then it's not that I didn't want to play with anybody else, it was just that I'm like, I'll just see what happens. And then out of nowhere, when he's like, John's like, yeah, do you want to? I'm like, yeah. And as a fan, when I heard the songs, like, I really truly, like, as a fan of the songs, was listening to them. Like, this is like really good music that I would just listen to. So that helps when you're trying to join a band, and you're not like, like you don't want to, be like, what can I do here? What can I do there? I'm like, these songs are basically already written, so I'm like, this is easy. And I listen to everything, and
Obviously.
Yeah.
and as like as a drummer, you tend, just as a musician, you want to be creative and get fancy with stuff, and you got to do what the song calls for. But it's just that the music's so good that you don't care about, like, you just want to do the simplest thing possible. And a guy, a well-known guy around all of Philly, Michael Comp, told me.
yeah.
He told me one day I remember playing a gig. I was down the shore like many years ago, and he let me he let me. He's like, "You want to play drums?" Oh no, this is great. And he goes, "Hey man," and he like just drops little hints. He always said, "Just lay it down." You know, I've been drumming for years, but you always learn. He's like, "Just lay it down," and in between songs, he goes, "Oh, and the other thing, he's like, a band's never gonna ask for more fills." You know, like no, they're never gonna say, "Hey, can you do more fills?"
That's a good impersonation.
He's a good guy.
He's a great
doing,
guy.
and he's doing well. He's going through the fire now, and he's back, and he's more on fire than ever. Trust me. So
He's
so
rocking.
Mike.
I think he's playing a swig soon. My
Yeah.
aunt bounces there.
That's in
So-
Warrington. That's
Yeah.
right down the street from my niece's house. I'm like, can I sleep over one night? I'll watch your kids the
Macomster.
next morning, and then I just want to go to Swig. I can even walk there. But yeah, and like I said, Northeast Philly. He's the king of Philly, let alone Northeast Philly. But yeah, these guys, when I was asked to be in here, it was just easy. And then as I'm like, you know, entering the band, I would always put their music on. I get ready for my night or whatever, and I just put them on repeat. And I'm like, and I'd forget, like, oh my God, this is going to be a band I'm joining. And I actually heard the songs. They really are good. They really are good. And it's great music, and it's fun to play, and it's just simple, to the point.
I have to say, his version of what simple is on the drums versus ours
Isn't very simple.
Very, very
Well, when you have two guitar players writing the drum beats for a while, when you don't have a drummer,
Yeah.
and then an actual drummer comes
Yeah,
in,
but they're
it's like,
creative
oh.
but they're like, as a drummer coming in, I'm like, wow, you guys also are sympathetic to the drums too, and you know what the song needs, what you wanted to.
Look,
what to
I would
have.
love, you know.
Look, I know
double
John
bass
would love
going.
to just
And I only have a single.
That's
I
not
have a
what we're
single
doing.
bass pedal. I'm in a band with
No,
one
it's
pedal.
it's really good. And
John
the thing
Bonham.
is, it all comes down to attitude too. Like we all have to hang out. We have to be critical of each other, and we are.
And we are all
We are
very
like these
critical of each
songs that
other.
you're listening to that are out now have been gone over and raked over the coals to every one of us. Yo, John,
Yeah.
your guitar riff sucks. That lead's horrendous, you know,
Yeah.
and just to get them to where they're at. But again, we have the ability to demo, record, mix, master in-house. Helps us to be able to put stuff out. So hopefully, early summer. You will have, what was the name of that album you came up with earlier?
Heaven-
Was it
Heavenly
Jesus
Disease.
Piece?
Heavenly- no,
Heavenly
You just say
disease.
Jesus.
Heavenly Disease.
That puts us in there with
I'm like,
Morbid
I've heard
Angel.
that band.
Yes.
As a
band?
Like,
I don't even need
Definitely, actually.
I don't even need royalties.
It's
just,
coming.
just say my name somewhere.
Well, I'm sure we'll sell at least 3
Yeah.
because we all have aunts and uncles, and they will
Yeah.
buy our album, and we will get you your
You got 2 more here.
15%.
Saint Ricketts, Heavenly
There you go.
Disease.
Let's do something that
Hmm.
I always wanted to say this, and all the times I did radio, listened to radio,
Yes.
been a radio
Uh-oh.
fan.
We love this.
World premiere music,
Oh, wow.
brand new
Oh,
song,
yeah.
never heard anywhere.
We just mixed it last night.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
And we just finished.
We just finished it
Yeah,
last
he said,
night.
wait till you hear it.
A
I'm like,
first
wait till
right
you hear
here.
what?
Your brand new song.
Oh. No, I asked him. I said, wait till you hear
It's so
what?
new,
What are you
he
doing?
didn't even know what
Yeah, I
it
didn't even
was.
know what was going on.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? He said, no, I remixed
You
it.
want,
Like,
you want an intro it, you?
I'm pretty bad at this, so go right ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No,
All right, brand new world premiere from Saint Ricketts. This is This Moment.
video show, folks. Saint Ricketts. Check it
Yeah.
out. Brand
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
world premiere. World premiere, brand
World
new.
premiere.
World premiere.
World, the whole world.
The whole world.
Fucking world.
Goddamn right.
Any soul watching world premiere, Saint Ricketts, this moment. I love it. And remember, this is a lesson. When your cell phone goes off at like 6 o'clock in the morning, it's a friend of yours singing. Answer it,
Listen to it.
because this is what's going to
Even if your
happen.
wife's asleep, you pick it up and you listen to it no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Follow Saint Ricketts on all the social media stuff. www.saintrickets.com is the website. It's the word Saint, S-A-I-N-T, Ricketts, R-I-C-K-E-T-S, saintrickets.com. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram is all the same. Saint Ricketts is the band. They're going to be playing some spots in our area. New music, album coming out. Great bunch of guys. Fellas, what is... Oh, for you. We can just chime in real quick. We got about 10 minutes to go. Future goal. Let's say you could be blank in 5 years with St. Ricketts.
Yeah.
5 years? Retired.
That's what I talk about the brewing company every time. Retired in 5
I
years.
think realistically, one of the other things that we talked about was being one of the most professional bands that would be in the area.
I definitely picked that up. We talked about it in the write-up, you guys. Super professional.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Because we want to spend more time playing meaningful shows, I'll say. You know, that can be anything. I won't get into tons of details, but we really, if anybody is like looking for a band to book that, you know, they feel like they can sort of trust to do it without being a bunch of knuckleheads, you know, like, I mean, I'm just talking in our scale right now, but
Gotcha.
Yeah.
of course we all pipe dream, right? But realistically, you know, we wanted to be able to do this ourselves. First and foremost, it was a creative outlet we thought we'd never have again. And then, you know, now that it's gaining some traction, it's kind of changing our perspective on what we can accomplish. So, yeah, I mean, I think realistically, just to kind of grow ourselves locally and regionally first, you know.
Awesome. Anybody wants to shout? Kenny?
I don't know. I'm just happy I get to play original music. I'm speechless.
Humble's a beautiful thing. It's all right.
It has, because it's, you know, it's as a creative outlet, it's fun to just show up and not have to do any homework when you're playing. In, you know, I'm just gonna put it out there. You know, I do a couple tribute acts that we'll go unnamed because we're focused here. But I mean, when you play in bands where you play other people's tunes, you show up, you do the homework, and you just do it. And even though you get, you know, you go out and you have fun, you get paid, it's still you're playing other people's music. But on the other hand, the best part about being an original band ever, and everybody knows it, is like, you know, we mentioned before that you know, you show up no matter what the day holds, you get it out of you, and then on the other side of the rehearsal, you create something out of thin air,
Yeah.
and that's the true like magic of it all, and like, you know, being a musician, you actually like. You come from out of nowhere. Trademark.
Musician.
I gotta tell you, I thought it was a mistake until I seen you guys
I
react.
know I didn't
He's
drink
on
that
to
much.
something.
Holy
Yeah. You
shit.
throw everything in the cauldron,
Right.
all right? But no, really, therapeutically, you really like you have this whatever, and whatever comes out in those couple hours, if you're creating a new song, you know, that's a total gift, like in itself, that you have the talent to do that. You're being given the gift to do that. That you can share that with the other people that you're in the band with, and it you know, you have a healing gift, like not just for yourself with the music and creating it, but then you can, you know, it's just like when you play a song, you know, you could play a song for somebody and be like, here you go, and you play their favorite song, and they're not going to think about their shovels for the day. So, you know, I really, you know, in this new day and age where we have all this technology and everybody's like, oh, I can be like, without even writing a song. You know, there's bands out there that come like our page, these are the members, and there's not one note written, and they just want to be there. And, you know, the true magic that really does happen in music is not on a stage, it's not in the recording, it's when you're in a room and somehow you have that overwhelming, like giddy feeling that, oh my God, like we just made this out of thin air.
Yeah.
You know, and you just jam the riff for minutes at a time. One
The
riff,
vibes
you just
there and everybody's together. And
And you guys
Something
are
like
friends,
something.
so it just makes it that.
Yeah,
that
it makes
much
it
more fun.
it makes it that much more fun,
Yeah.
especially just hanging out with everybody. Just you know,
and it's fun. We have
tossing
fun.
a guitar back and
Yeah.
forth and
Yeah.
having some drinks and you know, trying to find some sounds that are really cool.
Good
And
time.
we were trying to get stuff done last rehearsal, and then out of nowhere, like we're looking around, like, you know, we only scheduled 2 hours of rehearsal the last time, and you know, you look around like, okay, let's get to work, but then all of a sudden we started playing Dr. Feelgood, and then nobody said anything, so we just kept playing Dr.
Yeah.
Feelgood.
Fuck it.
So, you know, it's fun, and that's the
'Cause
most
we're having
important
fun.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be professional without taking away the fun. You know,
Yeah.
because sometimes I think everybody's like, oh, we gotta do this now, and you don't have to do it now. You know, if you really want something to be good, you got to keep working on it. You know, there's bands that the songs are never finished throughout the years, and they change throughout the years. They play them different live throughout the years. You know, and that's.
God, did Zeppelin ever play one song
No.
right? The same as
same?
the album.
Did Jimmy
ever?
Page ever
But they were
wear
always
short
right,
sleeve
I should
shirts?
say.
Yeah, long ruffles. Man.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
I want to see you guys in like those Seinfeld type puffy
Yeah,
shirt
the
combos.
yeah.
Don't dare me. I'll wear that
Sit
shit.
back.
April 11th.
Hey.
We'll be in the
April
puffy
11th.
shirts.
Yeah.
April 11th, you heard it here. We'll all
Look like
get
a
puffy
pilgrim
shirts.
at
that.
We'll
Yeah.
look like Prince. Be
We'll be
good.
Puritan.
So I'm gonna ask you guys a favor. We do this.
Sure.
We're still kind of new to having live bands in, but I always make a little script of what the show's gonna be like, and I ask our guests if they'll autograph it.
Is the
So,
show over?
a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we're
made it.
almost
Jesus
there.
Christ, it's been that long.
We made it through.
So I get you guys to just give us some autographs on there, just something to
Absolutely.
remember you by.
Definitely.
We got to do Jules' copy also.
For sure.
Man.
We really appreciate it. We just like to really.
These are the rights to all the songs.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll give them away.
We have a Philly wall. All our Philly bands. Going
Well,
on.
again, we can't thank you guys enough for giving us
Seriously.
a shot.
Yeah.
And having people that would never check us out actually hear our stuff.
Yeah.
So we
You
This
guys
is
are
a great
amazing,
outlet.
and you deserve to be out there and as
Thank
many
you.
platforms as possible. And we're just here to help. And thank you for being part of our show. And it's
Hell yeah.
like I said, it's right. It just fits the O show. Don't you
It does
agree?
fit.
Yeah.
It does fit. It has
Definitely
been
felt.
super comfortable sitting here talking to you
Awesome.
guys.
We
Yeah,
really
I mean, this is
great.
great. I mean, if anybody's in a band and likes to drink beer and can come and bullshit about Dr. Feelgood, and,
Yeah.
you know,
the
heaven and
place,
hell,
man.
we're good to go.
So we're saying it one more time around with Jules. Eric will give it credit.
Thank you.
But seriously, like I said, I mean, from the get-go, all week long, anticipating this being gate. When Jules said the guys are all about
That's
coming
your
in,
signature?
I just
Are you
like,
serious? Holy shit.
You got a dong.
you guys got some nice autographs.
Yeah,
though,
that's
man.
that's straight up. That's
Kenny's
good
putting
for
his phone number in there.
yeah.
When we rehearsed,
What are you gonna
when
do?
we rehearsed last week for 2 hours, we just concentrated on our autographs. That's,
Yeah, that's right.
Am I getting away with
this?
I literally signed documents that way.
that
Really?
big?
That's pretty awesome. I know you really can't
Not that-
say
not
it,
that
but-
Does that say long duck dong?
Jesus Christ.
My tag, yo.
Look at this.
My tag, yo.
Tag me.
NEP1, yo.
This one says Jeff Perini. Wait a minute, that's my name.
Kenny's signature looks a little bit like some of the logos we got early
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, we did get some gangster logos.
Awesome, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Just-
you guys.
Just
man.
keep
This is
safe.
awesome.
Oh, no. Wait. We got gifts. We got
Yeah,
gifts.
yeah,
Oh, we got gifts.
Oh, yeah. I cannot forget about this. Jewel, that's for you.
Oh,
Wow,
thank you.
my God, look at this, man.
Jeff, that's for you.
Oh, this is awesome. Open them right
Dig
now.
in.
Open them right
Open them
now.
in. What do we got? So we still got 3 minutes. Let's
So
take it.
excited.
Oh my
Oh.
God. We got St. Ricketts gear, everybody. We got St.
Yeah.
Ricketts t-shirts available on the website, www.saintricketts.com.
Go
Yeah,
buy
man.
these.
It's a gorgeous looking shirt, so go out and get it.
Koozies.
Koozies.
So-
Beer koozie.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Woo!
music. Absolutely.
Amazing.
You can listen what fire cannot burn,
Limited
which
run.
Limited
Yeah, very,
run.
very limited.
Very limited.
Meaning,
That's
like,
that's one
we
of
only
100.
made 7.
wow.
Yeah.
No,
So we all got them, and you two
And
got
you
'em,
two
and that
got
was it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You can find it on eBay. My name is Jeff Sharp on eBay. St. Ricketts, the bid starts at $40.
That's great.
Coming in at 13 cents.
Oh my God, man, it's worth it. No, really, I can't. God, this is amazing. Hey, thank you. No, I thought I bought too much beer. Now this is great.
I know.
No, you didn't bring
Yeah,
it
you
up.
never bring enough beer.
Never
Bring
bring enough beer. Last week, them guys sucked me dry. We love you guys, but you sucked us dry last week.
Easy with
Easy, pal.
The beer, the beer.
Okay. What was that guy going on a camping hike?
It's the
Where were you
21st
at?
century. It's the 21st century. It's okay, guys.
These guys are better at it than I am. All right, so let's wrap it up real quick. Again, thank you to the gentlemen from St.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
We
Eric,
really appreciate
Thank
it.
Kenny, Tom, and John.
Orsino, wish you were here, buddy.
Yeah, man,
buddy,
this one
miss
goes
you.
out for Auntie.
This
Thank
one's
you
for
very
you,
much.
Aunt.
Jewel the Babe Titty. I'm
Fight the
Jeff
power.
Sharperny. Thank you for joining the Yo Show. We'll see you next week. We've got the big announcement.
Hey.
Troy David Hendrickson, a.k.a. Aunt Mary
Mary Pat.
Pat Sabatino, will be here.
Use
guys.
The fist.
Use guys.
Use guys.
Hey, use guys.
guys.
See you, Cokes and
Next week, right
smokes.
here on the Yo Show.
I go to Wawa. I go to Wawa, use guys.
Okay, we're going to take it out again with Fire Cannot Burn, St. Ricketts. Thanks, gentlemen.
Adios.
Bye.
And it's done in the basement. Remember that. It sounds top notch. It will be. Eventually. What I'm saying. We're gonna tell you to our next album. I had to get a picture just to say, yo, it's in my studio.